Yo, JD here, Tyrrell Limitless, and as always, back on F1 2019 as if it'd be any other different game. But we are back with some league racing, and this is TSRL. And this is the league I do on Fridays at 8 p.m. I live stream it on my YouTube every single Friday, and same for WOR on 8 p.m. on Mondays. So Mondays and Fridays, 8 p.m, there'll be something going on live on my channel. And as you can see, this is Mexico, and it is raining. This is a full qualifying format in this league. So you have a Q1, Q2, Q3, exactly the same rules apply like they do in real F1. Basically the top 15 then go through to Q2, then top 10 into Q1, and that's the way it goes. And when I saw rain here, first of all, I wasn't expecting it around Mexico, although I've seen it quite a few times in league races on this game around here. But yes, typically tracks like this in Bahrain you do not expect, and with this gear, the Fanatec has been going absolutely amazing for me. I've had multiple race wins on this equipment already, and it's just, I said it myself, I feel it's definitely stepped me up a gear, but I have not done any running really in the wet with this, and it's a big deal because I'm using a load cell now, and it's not really the force feedback of the wheel as such itself, but it's just mainly the brakes. I always said the pedals are probably the most important part of your racing setup if you're using a wheel, of course, and I was just really struggling to know where the limit is, in terms of when you actually start locking up and trail braking. It is crucial to know exactly where that is, and this is me just down to myself. You're just not doing the running. I just didn't do any wet running at all. I've done all dry running on this wheel, and that's going to change from today. It already has changed since I've been doing this video, but this was a big wake-up call for me, for sure, when I was doing this. But this is my second lap. My first lap was not good at all. You saw I went in deep going into that turn 1 and 2, but this is a better lap so far. Much better. You can see over a second and a half up, going double purple, and then we go the triple purple, and that is fastest currently in this session. So you can see here, skipping on a little bit of time now, I just decided to sit in the garage because I thought it could possibly be dry end of this session. So I felt that was a pretty good time for now. I was sitting in the top 3 for a good while, and I actually felt that would be enough for me to even get through. So I was just leaving it to the very end of the session. The track gets a lot quicker towards the end of the session in a full qualifying format, and it's around about 3 minutes or so. As you can see now, that's why I decided to go out, because it's still raining. It's definitely not going to be dry, even though the track, or this game, actually does dry very quickly, and it's pretty unexpected, pretty unreliable, and inconsistent is probably the word I'm looking for in terms of when it changes tyre compounds. So I decided to go out again, and I'm on a pretty good lap so far. So this lap is going pretty well, definitely improving by a good 6 or so temps through here, but going through this corner, it is just so, I wouldn't even say unforgiving. That was just me clearly going off the track. I just find it very tricky to get the line perfect through. That's probably the most prone corner there is on this track to getting a warning, and I got that. So I only have 1 lap left, really. Only 1 lap left due to the time. You see, we've got 33 seconds on the clock. But I was confident. That I would be able to get another lap in, because we went purple in that middle sector as well. Coming across the line, it's a 25.2, obviously invalidated, but only 4 temps away from ERL Viper, who is very good around this track, and he is on the controller as well, which is notorious to be very handy in these conditions, as I know myself. But I felt I could get into the 24s in a good lap. So this turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 are pretty good. A little bit of wheel spin on that exit, but yeah, not horrendous at all. We're good 4 temps up on our 26.3 so far. But going into here, braking deep, and this is the issue, just not knowing where the limit is in terms of locking up. And I actually locked up twice. Locked up once, came off the brake, and then locked up again on the opposite tyre. But we are, thankfully, due to the track evolution, still up on our time. Someone moving out of the way, but that was not optimal, just a little bit of a distraction. It shouldn't really distract you too much, but it's slightly off-putting, which is something I really don't need on this lap so far. But we are still comfortably up on our delta, so all so far so good. Going to this right-hander, we actually lock up again, going straight on. Didn't go full throttle there because I didn't want to get an invalidation, didn't want to run the risk of getting an invalidation. Not very good through this corner as well. Going through this last corner, clunking too much of the inside curb, so it's a very horrible last sector, a very, very poor last sector. Only just improving on my time to a 26.2, which puts me in P10 at this moment in time. So, although a very bad lap, the good thing about this format is that you could get through. It's a full qualifying, so I don't have to worry about this. I thought that was enough to get through itself, but my AI card decides to destroy itself, and my P15.
Oh my god.
Although I was in P10, so I was just so confused of what actually just happened there. And we're going to look at the end of this Q1. I thought that was a glitch or something, but we're going to go down.
Oh my god, that was terrifying.
I am in P15. If you look at the time, 26.2, that was quick enough to be P10. And that was a completely valid lap. And I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And that meant I had to set out of Q2 and Q3. So a good well over half an hour I had to set out more. And this puts me at the back of the grid, which in league racing is the worst thing that could happen to you. Completely the worst thing that could happen to you. So I decided to go on medium tyres, which I did originally to do as well, but I'm going to go on medium tyres again anyway. And looking forward to doing a Q3, I didn't have the opportunity. I felt I had a very strong chance of getting pole position, but we're going to have to start 15 out of 19, so we have 5 lights, and waiting for them to go out, getting a very bad start, complete polar opposite to what I did at WOR at Singapore. Just not, you need that biting point to be just higher up in the revs. I was too low on the revs, so I got a very poor start. And my mindset for this first lap, or yeah, just this first few corners, was just literally just to not get any damage whatsoever. So being cautious, but trying to pick up any opportunities when I can. And I've actually lost the position so far due to that start, so not good. But despite all this, I still felt I could win this race. I felt that strong in my pace because the pace was extremely good as we actually got into the back of my teammate of RSR Clays, and luckily we don't get any damage. Somehow we don't get any damage whatsoever, so that was very fortunate. And as I was saying, I still felt that with my pace and the strategy that I was going to do, because a lot of guys were on softs near the front and they didn't decide to do mediums in the Q2, they decided to go on softs. I felt I could easily do a one stop and still do something, as my teammate is actually conceding the position, so that's working very well. So we've gone back into P15, into our original starting position, and going through this baseball section of this last sector, the car is going sideways. Toro Rosso is going completely sideways. A Haas, a Ferrari spun out, and they spin out once again. This Toro Rosso just blocks me.
Fucking hell, man.
And we go from 15th to 16th, and
oh, fuck's sake.
We have damage. We have probably the worst kind of damage. We have slightly green damage, which is the worst, because you cannot change that front wing unless you get more damage going to the pits, and it actually costs you, I say, a good minimum half a second a lap, particularly on a track like this where it's very twisty in this middle sector. It's going to cost you a lot of time, because in practice I was doing very, very low 18s, maybe even high 17s at the start of a race on the mediums, and not only are we very far behind now, I'm going to have to change my wing in a pit stop somehow, despite not being able to at this moment in time, until I get more damage. And we're going to be losing about half a second a lap. So, yes, that is the consequence of starting, I wouldn't say out of position, we make a little bit of contact with Ginger Ninja, and I don't know what happened there, unfortunately for him, but I don't think he's lost too much time, so very sorry for that. But you can see my lap times now. It's a 19.1 when we should be doing 18.1s at this point, so not good. not good at all. We're in P14 and we just keep on continuing, but I tried not to let that distract me or everything, as Jinx is actually pitted down with the softs, because this is really the kind of time period or the laps they start to pit. And I just got my head down and just tried to pump in as fast laps as possible. And right now, despite having this damage, I was actually very pleased with how I was driving. I was driving probably the maximum I could have done with this, and with this damage I was actually still catching people. I was actually still catching up a little bit. So some people are starting to pit now from the soft strategy, really maximum lap 10, lap 11 or something. So probably the furthest they could go. If you want to make a one-stop work, you really got to be going like lap 16, something like that really. But we're catching up to RSR Danny, who's on the hard tyres, so that could work back in his favour again. You can see a lot of people are pitted down. We've gone into P4, so you can see loads of people pitted, and they are no way are they getting to the end of the race. So despite what happened on lap 1, just with the pace that I've been pumping in, we're very consistent, and that massive damage in rotation, I think we've been doing what I feel myself, I've been doing a pretty good job. And RSR Danny, I don't think is going to really fight this too much, because the tyre compound difference is just, even with this damage, it's just, you just gain so much time. And we've got EOL Viper, who's 11.3 seconds in front. I can confirm he doesn't have any damage, and he's probably one of the quickest guys around here. And skipping on to the end of lap 13, we've only lost a fraction of time, and some laps I was gaining a little bit of time in them. So again, it gave me some promise to still do something in this race, because we are in a podium position. 14 laps ago we were last pretty much, and now we're in a podium position. But some guys are going to have to pit. I'm pretty sure most people are going to have to pit again. As you can see, Danny, he's on the fresh medium tyres, and there's really nothing I could do at this point apart from really just not make it too easy for him. But I was just going to try and follow him now. Got a decent little buffer behind, and we can still make something of this race. I was just trying to be positive in my head. I was just trying to say to myself that if you could just get a podium despite what happened, then that should really give me some confidence into future races. If I just have a clean race, which I've been saying in other league races in the past, if I just have clean races, I believe if I just drive 80% of what I know I can do, then I usually should be in a good position to at the very least, challenge for a podium. And you can just see for this midfield section, just a combination of the front tyres, or the tyre wear, and just him having a completely non-damaged, or no damage front wing at all, as we get a 3-second warning there. So the track limits are very harsh around here. A lot of people say they're not, but for me, this corner is not harsh, but in the middle sector it is very, very harsh, in the sector 2. But I still thought we could actually do something here, and just confirming that we are pushing extremely, extremely hard, as EOL Viper is actually now pitted from the medium tyre. So he's probably going to be doing a one-stop strategy, probably going to go on the hard tyre, which is a strategy I was really looking to do. But skipping on to the end of lap 18, I decided to stay out as long as possible. Really could have pitted for the hard and done a little bit of an undercut, but I decided to stay out because a lot of people were retiring, or a couple of people were retired, and that normally triggers a safety car. So I was really praying for a safety car at this point, and a lot of people said that in the chat as well. M&T Hawks has actually overtaken me on the soft tyres, so there's no way that he is going to the end. So it's still fair game. It's still fair game to get a good position, even a podium in this race. I truly believe that I could still do it. And that was really down to that first stint, those first 14 laps with this damaged wing on these medium tyres. Honestly, I couldn't have really driven any better whatsoever. So the end of lap 19, we are going to go into the pits now, actually hitting the barrier, and I can confirm that was not an accident. That was me intentionally doing that, excuse me, because as I said before, that front wing, when it's slightly green, the game doesn't change it. You need to damage it more. So I intentionally did that to get a new front wing. Going on to the hards, and we're going to go to the end of the race now. Currently still in P9, but just about to be overtaken by the Sarah Racing Point into P10. I'm probably going to be overtaken by another couple of guys who's on the soft, and then Ian Boy, he's on the hard, and Z-Tex, he's on the medium. So we're still in a good position to still get some very good points. Not quite able to stay ahead of the 12th place man in the Alfa Romeo, but we're going to go to the end now, and I could just push as hard as I want. But I think Zetex has only just recently gone on these tyres, so initially he's probably going to get away from me, but as the tyre wear then slowly kicks in, I should be able to bring myself back into it once more. But luckily we are still in the DRS zone and saving a good amount of fuel, quite a lot of fuel in fact, and a lot of ERS. Very, very crucial around this track, as he's going to try and make an overtake attempt on the McLaren, but skipping towards the end of lap 21, he's still stuck behind the McLaren of Ian Boy. And going through this section, I started to feel my tyres to slowly but surely come towards me a little bit more, but I was still, this is crucial now, because I still believe that I could just get a very, very strong position, because there's a couple of guys, there are quite a few guys towards the front who still need to pit in this race. They still need to pit, so I need to get as big as undercut as possible. Got no real threat from behind from Carl in the Renault. There's absolutely no threat in the slightest, so it's all about focusing on ahead, and this should not be a difficult overtake for Zetex. And Ian Boy again, I don't think he's really going to fight this too hard going into turn 1, and yeah, he doesn't. He just easily just let him through, because we're not really in the same race. I think he's been on those halves for quite a while now, so yeah, he's going to be losing a little bit of grip, and we're just going to comfortably stay with the Alfa Romeo. But skipping on to a few more laps, I actually lost the DRS, because just the difference between the tyre compounds is just so much. You can just gain so much more time, and that's what we did in the first stint. Vars our Danny, who's now on softs behind me, and we just caught him up despite having that damaged wing with the medium compound. But going towards the end of lap 28, this is where I started to feel that my hard tyres were actually quicker than the mediums of the Alfa Romeo in front, as we've got a little bit of traffic. So we've got another AMS guy, M&T Hawks. I think he's actually leading the race. He's actually on soft, so quite a few of those guys actually went on the 2-stop strategy, whereas we're trying to do the 1-stop, and we are in a points paying position at this point with a soft runner behind me, but his soft tyres should be going off at the end. So I felt this is a very good position, and we actually are in P9 as well, as someone else is just coming out of the pits, going to make an overtake on the racing point, going down to someone, trying to be forceful, leave him a little bit of room on the inside, but going around the outside to get the inside for the right-hander. And now I'm into P8 this race, considering what happened at the start and the wing change we had to do and how much time we lost on that one. I was extremely, extremely happy with this, and getting a good run off this corner now. This is the time where I knew I had to get past him to get into P7 this race with still some more points a little bit further up the road, but he's actually weaving quite a bit going into his turn 1. So we're going to do a little bit of a dummy to the left, and then go down the right hand side, down the inside, going into turn 1. Try and do as we did before on the racing point, but we actually lost traction and hit the wall, and we've got yellow front wing damage, where we are going to have to pit. There's no way I can stay out and remain competitive at all, considering the guys in front of me on the on-soft. But going and look at the replay again, going down the inside, I tried to do the same thing as I did in the previous lap, but that little squirt of throttle, as you can see there, that's what killed me. That's what put me into wall. He didn't make any contact with me. It was purely me just getting a bit too eager on the traction. So I'm going to have to change wing. And you thought there was no chance of me getting points this race, considering we've had to make an extra pit stop, 2 front wing changes, and losing about, I don't know, about 10-15 seconds on the first lap or something as well. But we've actually closed in on Carl, setting the fastest lap of the race, and this should be quite a comfortable overtake. So this is going to put me into P11, and let's see what happens here. And this is actually, I can confirm, actually my fastest lap I did this race. And yeah, so just trying to show kind of what the pace I could do. I think the fastest lap at this point was like before I did that 59, it was like a 16 or something, high 16 or something like that. So we're just going to try and demonstrate what kind of pace I really did have. And the gap in front of me is 22 seconds to the next guy, who is the first guy in the points itself. But still, never give up. You never know what could happen. There could be a safety car at the end of this race, and that again was something I was really banking on in the first stint, just trying to hold out for that, because that would have put me in an absolutely perfect position for the end of the race. Because normally when people retire, it does trigger that, but for some reason it just hasn't done it on this occasion. So you know, nothing you can do, you just got to keep on going itself. And we're going double purple so far, so this is a pretty nice lap. about my second lap on these tyres as well, so not as fresh as they could be. And look at the speed we pulled away from Carl and the slightly older softs who've just a million miles in pace difference, going slightly green in the last sector, but that's a 15.0, almost a 14, which, you know, without max fuel and DRS, that's very good. But in front of me is Evansy, and he is in P10 in this race, and that is points right there, depending on how many penalties he has, because I actually do have a couple penalties myself. If I could just stay with him, then there is an opportunity for points in this race. So all I need to do is just stay with him and just to hope that somehow he has got more penalties than me. Going through this last sector, we managed to keep with him very, very nicely indeed. So we're definitely within 3 seconds. So if he does have an extra penalty than me, we would get points itself. So making sure I don't spin out on this last corner. And let's see what I can do here. He goes across the line. Let's see what position we come. And it's P10.
P10
in this race. And yeah, considering what happened this race, I would take a point all day in that. And that's just league racing for you. You can have wins, you can dominate, but then the next week it could all change. And yeah, that's the beauty and also the brutalness of it as well. But in qualifying, yes, we could have done a better lap, but to be honest, I don't think there's anything I could do because the AI crashed by itself and that actually disqualified my lap for some reason. So there is nothing I could do about it. I reported it to Codemasters, which has now become a known issue, and others have had it as well. So that glitch really was costly for me because I started in a way out of position for me where I personally should have started, which should have been the top 5 minimum. But yeah, unfortunate that first lap, but that's league racing for you. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for the support as always. 90,000 subscribers now. That's something I can't believe I'm even saying, but thank you so much, and I'll catch you very soon. Peace.